What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna revisit a game that hasn't really gotten any updates or anything, but I think it's a really rad game. I've put an absurd number of hours into it. It's one of those games that I play like probably in the hour run up to going to bed because it's kind of like a wind down game about building a space empire. Like, you know how when you play the X series or you play EVE Online, there's all these jump gates you gotta go through to get to where you're trying to go? Well, this game, you are basically the transit manager of the galaxy responsible for colonizing planets and deciding where those gates go. And it's a thinker, dude. It's one of those games that'll constantly be stretching out your brain fibers and trying to get you to figure out complex problem solving. And I like it very much. So we're going to play the game for about 30 minutes. See if you like it. I'll have a link for you down below. This game is completely done. It's been done for years, and yet I just keep coming back to it. It's one of those games that whenever I'm a little bit like anxious or I've got like a rough day coming tomorrow, I just chill out, play it for an hour or two, and I'm good to go. So let's play some Slipways, shall we? Links down below. You can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream, just in case you wanted to hang out live, but we'll be doing a standard run today. And I will just start the game. I don't really care about that other save. We'll randomize this a little bit, and then we'll send ourselves on in. One of the important things that you're going to do at the beginning of the game is you've got to choose a race of aliens that are sort of sponsoring humanity's advancement on into the stars. And it's pretty important when you do this. Now, you don't know what kind of galaxy you're walking into or what resources you're going to be playing around with. So oftentimes when you pick these bonuses, you're going to find that they don't help out altogether that much. But sometimes they can be game changers that lead you to just absolute victory. And so let me go through here, and I'm going to see what everybody's got. It's randomly generated what perk you get each time you play, so I got to look at them all. So we didn't really get a whole lot of the good ones here today, but I'm going to make do with what I have. We've gone with the Dender, who are kind of like space Ents. And this reduces the amount of imports and exports that I need to make a planet go prosperous. On this side, we've also got the Silithid. I've taken some free slip relays that allow me to reach out further than I could normally reach, just in case we get ourselves into hot water. And then as a third sponsor with no perk, I've gone ahead and taken the Bakar, I think is what they're called. And they're mostly about moving planets around, destroying planets, industrial mining, things of that nature. And we'll see what our opening spread looks like. So anytime you play the game, this is where you're going to start out. Each one of these dots is a planet and or a celestial object that we can uncover by clicking and dragging out to here like so. And then you'll see that we've got like an array of things that we can interact with. And really, the entire point of this game is that you're trying to get to the point where you've got imports and exports going out of all these planets in a nice, clean way so that you maximize the amount of money that you make, and also you're trying to get the entire galaxy done by December of 3425. The game is on a time limit. However, the game is very, very generous about allowing you to roll back decisions and things of that nature, just in case you don't like what's going on. So let me take a look here and figure out what we can do, because this opening grid is a little bit tricky. A little tiny bit tricky. It's not crazy tricky, but I think we should start our space empire on this planet right here. Now, every planet takes something, and it produces something. There are also secret things that'll pop up as you fill in these import needs that will give you even more exports. So, for example, this place can get ore, and it can get food, and that will give us humans. That's exactly what we're going to do. So there's our first planet established. Now, it's got a little red flag over the top of it. Little red flag means that this planet is struggling. It doesn't have all the things that it needs in order to survive. But we're going to fix that very shortly. But were we not to fix that, the happiness of our empire is going to go down. And if it goes down below a certain level, we get voted out of office and the game is going to end prematurely. So you do want to stay on top of this. And this is also multiplicative to the score that you're going to get at the end of the game that tells you how well you did. And so this is just a flat multiplier for whatever score you got. So you really want this to be like super positive, like 120, 125% by the time you get to the end of the game. I'm not super great at this game because it's a thinking man's game and I'm kind of like rock dumb, but sometimes I get good runs going. We're going to source the ore that we need from right there. We are going to source algae from over here to get food. And then we're going to source we're going to source food from over there, and then we're going to get algae from right there. And what you'll see is we've created a closed loop right here where everything is humming along perfectly fine, and we don't really have to worry about anybody needing anything. All of these things are now happiness neutral because we've gotten them up to the silver tier, and now that they're at a silver tier, they are giving us money every year that goes by. You can see our cash up here at the top, and everything that you're going to do in this game is going to cost you a little bit of cash. Now, we've been offered tasks by the Galactic Council that we're going to try to do. We've got increase our population by 4 humans. That's not too bad. I think we can take that. And then get an ore-producing planet up to successful. I think we can do that as well. I don't think we're going to struggle too much on that front. What we want to do now is we want to destroy that asteroid. We've got 1 human left over here. And I don't know if I can shoot the gap, but both of these planets need water in order to get themselves up to the next level of development. If you're ever curious about what a planet needs in order to upgrade from red tier to bronze tier, from red tier to silver tier to gold tier to platinum tier, just look over here and it'll tell you. So this needs more import routes and it needs more export routes. Basically, it needs all of its dimmed out things fulfilled right here, and it needs to be sending out every single one of its resources. Otherwise, it can't upgrade. So this planet right here, we can get water from this planet, and both of these planets need water, so we'll run that over to there. We'll run that to right there. We'll run that to right there. And then I need to do a little bit of scouting to figure out what's along our edge, because this is a big planning game. This is a game where you want to look at what's available out there in the galaxy, and you want to be very careful about where and when you use your resources. So I'm thinking the direction that we're going to jump is going to be over here to the right. We've got a remnant planet, which we can scavenge. This is left over from an ancient empire, and we can scavenge it for either ore, we can get circuits from it, or we can get robots from it. And I think robots, if I don't know where I'm going, I almost always go with either robots or food, because those seem to be the most useful and the most used by the most planets so that you can make connections. Another way that your score is judged at the end of the game is how big your empire is. And getting this up to 40 or 50 planets is really going to get that point score humming. Now, this place right here is a forge world. I don't really have a whole lot to play with here, but what I could do with the forge world is I could use this forge world to supply consumer goods to Site 6, which would give us an extra human, which would allow us to make the jump over to here, to the next part of the universe, and start scavenging up some robots in the hopes that we find either a water planet over here, or in the hopes that we find a jungle planet over here, or something like that. The downside that we're looking at the moment is, unfortunately, that we've got this ice ball planet in the way that's going to be causing problems. Now, as we get further on into the game, we'll get Bakar options that allow us to blow up planets, move planets around, and push them with a giant tow truck. But for right now, we don't have access to any of those fun things, so we've just got to kind of figure it out. I'd also like to see if there's another primordial world, I think, over in this direction, so that we can make use of the fungus that's coming out of here. That would also be a really good thing. You can also build upgrades on these planets as you go down the tech tree. The tech tree is procedurally generated based on which patrons that you've taken. You don't always get every single perk in the game, but there are ones that are kind of predictable from different factions that should come up. So, for example, we've got freeze-resistant robots. That would allow us to do permafrost melting on this ice ball planet. It would also allow us to make a lichen farm on this ice ball planet. And you get research by building these little research facilities right here and then supplying them humans and some other extra export from another planet, but not food, not water. I think it's for algae, it's for rocks, it's for robots, and it's for circuit boards, I think, are all the ones that do research points. So that this will tick up year over year, and it's a really important task that you kind of get this up to like a 0.5 by like 3410, or you get this up to a 5 by, I don't know, 3410, so that you're ticking up extra research to get to the bottom of the tech tree, because it'll help you really upgrade these planets as you get further along into the game. For now, we just need to scout. So we've got a forge world over there. What do I have on that side? I got a remnant world on this side. Okay, they got us locked in a little bit right now. We're going to have to, I think we just have to go with this option over on this side, even though I'm not hugely in love with it. I was hoping we would find something a little bit more useful over here, but I don't think it's going to go that way. So let's go with our initial idea, which is just to take consumer goods over here, export the consumer goods out to that planet right there. And so now we have 2 successful planets. So we're set up for something in the future. If we can get 3 gold planets connected to this planet right here, it'll upgrade to a platinum planet, and you get a fat score boost at the end of the game for every platinum planet, but it's not always easy. It can sometimes be complicated. What we could do over here is if we could shoot that gap right there. I don't know if that's going to work. We might get caught in the gravity well over here. So that won't reach to right there because of the gravity well of that planet. Another option is we could make the jump over to here, I guess, with this extra rock that we're getting out on this side. Is doable. It's not perfect, but it's something. And I think that may actually be the play that we have to make. So let's call that robots right there. Robots are on now all set up on that side. We've used up every single export on that planet. But it's going to need another import if we want to take it up to... Oh, no, never mind. It doesn't have to be an import. So it just has to be connected to 3 other successful planets. So that one's kind of an easy win if we can get it there. Let me scout these down here and kind of see what we're working with. We've got a swamp planet, so we can get food out right there, which would probably be good for us. And then we've got another forge world, and we've got an arid planet. Okay. I'm trying to save my connectors. What these are is they're relays. They allow you, so you've got a maximum range on your deployment like so, but they also allow you to turn interesting corners and connect things that normally couldn't be connected. So I almost always take this perk whenever I see it, because sometimes early grids, they're all procedural and seed-based. Sometimes you get early game grids that are just like super ugly, and you need to be able to like Zoolander style turn a corner, but only to the right. For now, though, let's connect this guy, and we'll harvest out robots from that planet. And then we'll kind of see what this little chunk looks like over here. We can get robots over to the ocean world, so that's a solid. I do need humans to make it over to here so that I can get the metals that they need in order to be happy. They're like somewhat okay right now, but they're gonna need something to help them out on that side. Let's see if we can scan those. So what we're going to do here is I think there's just a simpler way to do this, is we'll produce humans right here. I was trying to finagle my way into like a perfect chain over on this side, but I'm going to end up using up all my relays, and I might need them later for more complex things. And so the easiest way to do this is just to connect these like so that we're all set up on that side. And then I don't know if there's anything else that I can study over here, but we need to get some research up and running, and we just finished our last 2 tasks. So they're going to ask us to take more tasks. If you finish the game with tasks unfinished, you lose a fat chunk of score. And so there's a little bit of like gambling and anteing up, kind of looking at these projects that you can play around with and trying to figure out which ones are feasible versus which ones are going to tank your entire score. Now, we need 2 planets to become successful that have rocks. We also need 2 planets to be successful, 1 Forge World successful. I'll probably take these 2 right here, even though that leaves the Slithid out in the open. So these right here are remnant artifacts. If you connect human beings to these, they'll have procedurally generated bonuses for your runs. Sometimes they unlock a technology. Sometimes they'll give you a bunch of money. Sometimes they'll turn into a resource production facility. It kind of depends. But when it says options unlocked right here, you can only do the stuff with these if you have the first task done for each race. And so we haven't done anything with the Silithid yet. But I would like to get there. I would like to make that happen. Let's destroy an asteroid to make some money, because we're at the end of the year anyways, and we're almost out of cash. We have human beings that can get something from there, like the permafrost melting would be good here as well. Let me scout the rest of this elbow over here and kind of see what we have and what we're playing with. So we've got a jungle planet right there. We've got a Terran planet right here, which would be super good for us. However, it's in a weird spot. This place is kind of locked in by the fact that we've got that Forge World right there, so that's a little tiny bit of a headache. I'm not in love with it. Let's take our tasks, and I'll probably go Forge World to successful, and I would say food-producing planets to successful would probably be the way that we want to go, and we'll get $40 and 4 research when we finish that job. So that'll probably work out okay. That's blocked by that little asteroid right there. We'll start printing food on this side, just in the off chance that we've got something we can use food for on this side. For right now, we're coming up goose eggs. It's not looking great over here, but maybe we'll find something. Yeah, unfortunately, we got a big bag of nothing on this side. Oof, we gambled and lost. So this planet is effectively dead from now on. There's not gonna be a whole lot I can do with that planet unless this guy turns into a winner, and that guy was an anomalous reading, so unfortunately we can't really do a whole lot with that right there. I need a way to get this food somewhere else. And I don't know, so that'll go out to like there. I'm gonna need to use multiple relays in order to make something happen here. We can actually, that works out right there. That's not bad. let's take that. There we go. So we got that little swamp planet up to successful. I think it's probably time that we start doing research. If I can get robots over to there by shooting that gap, I can get us a banger. I only have a couple of these left, but if I can shoot that over to there, we can get that right there. Then I can shoot the gap over to here, supply them with water, and then send their robots elsewhere so that they go up to successful. It's a remnant planet, so it's not going to fulfill any of our tasks or anything. But my goal here, what I'm trying to do, is we need a research facility. We're getting kind of like to mid-game right now. And we're going to take these algae and we're going to put those on there. And now we're getting 3 research per year. That's just going to get things ticking. So that things are working a little bit better and we can start getting some of these technologies, because these technologies hugely make your life better. Like, they just make things simpler. If I can get another relay over here and I can aim this properly. I messed it up. Roll it back real fast. It's got to be a little bit lower. If I can get a relay to, like, right there. Oh, it's obstructed right there, too. There's like a perfect 1 pixel line where I need to get this to. Hey, I got it. There we go. Now we can get these goods over to here and make that human-producing planet a little bit more profitable for us so that we're making a ton more cash. Okay, so they're all squared away. He's connected to 1. He's connected to 1. I still need to figure out circuits are going to be the tough part here, because I have no way to get circuits over to here with the way that I had to configure things at the beginning of the game in order to get it all working. And so I think we're just going to have to sit on this for a little bit until we get some kind of technology that bails us out near the end game. And if we can find that, we'll be all right. I think we can make this happen. But we're going to have to kind of make like a loop right here. Connect those, connect that, make that print out circuit boards, come back. Got that covered now, so that's looking good. That's in the spot that it needs to be. We may be producing a few too many humans out here. I got a lot of humans inside my overall operation, but my hope was that I could shoot the gap over here with a relay and grab that technology right there, because I don't want to leave it behind. So I can buy a tech right now. Mines on mineral planets give you an extra metal, and they give you 30% more income. Do I have any mines that would, like, benefit from that being a thing? Over here, I can solve this problem real fast. And we can shoot that in right there. And shoot that in right there to get an extra robot. And so now, the Silithid are happy with me. And so we at least got one of our tasks out of the way, which is really fantastic for us. We can do permafrost melting. I don't know, is permafrost melting going to fix any problems that I have over here, though? Because we only have this one frost planet inside of our core. And so I usually only take technologies if I know they're going to bail me out of some kind of problem. I don't think it's useful right now, but we can get hydroponic farms for robots into food on desert planets, and I think we get mileage out of that, because now we have a desert planet over here that's going to let us make the hop. I'll investigate that in a second, and I'm guessing their secondary need is going to be water over there, but I don't know for certain because I haven't played around with this technology a whole bunch yet. If I get metal right here, that'll fix that planet, and that'll give us one more step towards finishing Dender level 2, which would be really good. I don't know if I've ever level 4'd any of the races in this game in my, like, 60 or 70 hours of playing. I don't know if I've ever hit that level before. I would like to hit that level, but, like, I'm kind of, like, inefficient when I play this game. I feel like I learn a little bit every single time I play it, and I'm able to deal with, like, strains that come up in the middle of my runs a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I feel like I don't get better at it. I do need to get water over to there, and then that would upgrade them to gold tier as well. But I would have to use my final relay to get that over there, and I don't know if I'm willing to sacrifice it just yet, because the relay just gives me so much flexibility when you hit, like, a dead end. Let's work a little bit on this left-hand side. And it did indeed need water, so that's kind of what I predicted, was that we had a good chain right there. As you play the game more and more, you'll start to get a vibe for how the proceduralism works. Oh, I could have swiped another one over there, too. Now I feel bad about myself. What is that? Please don't be a planet. All right, so it's not a planet. We can take this food on over to here, but I don't think that would be wise from where we're sitting, because they're going to need food, and then they're going to need, I think, do I even have any Terran planets just yet? I don't think I have any Terran planets. I don't remember what the secondary need is for a Terran planet. So technically we could go like that right there, but they're going to need consumer goods and stuff. So I think this is our next most obvious chain on this side, because I wanted to set up a mineralogical research facility over here to make my life a little bit easier. I can send another batch of humans over to here. You can import whatever the import is right here. You can add another one if you want. Yeah, and if I did, this would upgrade and give us another water that could go over to this place. Might be kind of nice. I don't know if the Forge World can shoot the gap. Yeah, it can't shoot the gap right there. So I was going to try to get consumer goods over there from there. Oh, really? A Terran planet right there, too. Interesting. What do we have right here? Forge World. That'll reach. Oof, we've got an opportunity for a banger of a little chain right here. That'll upgrade him to gold, which means this guy will be connected to 2 out of 3 of the golds that he needs to upgrade. And if I can just get that fungus out of there, we'd be in better shape too. I need to get that last fungus out somewhere. And then we've got a real strong play to turn this guy into a platinum planet. Yeah, we'll be real close to getting that into a platinum planet. Let's put that right there. Hey, we turned actually a mining world into a platinum planet. And you see, when you get a platinum planet, it raises your happiness. And as I said, this is a flat multiplier for your final score. So having like 6 or 7 of these platinum planets and getting up to like 120% is going to be a huge part of the game. And I love the sort of iterative learning that you go through with this game. Like, as you make mistakes, I think that if you commit those mistakes to your memory and you start to just get a feel for the way the map generates, because it does generate in somewhat predictable ways. I didn't notice until I was about 40 hours in, but there are certain planets that will almost always have a mining planet near them. There are other planets, and if you've got a mining planet, chances are within 1 or 2 planets there's a forge planet, and once you start to get a vibe for that feeling, you can kind of make like these long hedged bets about what you can acquire out here. Now I want that to go to... Consumer goods will lock me off from getting to there because your slipways can never cross. There is a technology that you can get that will make your slipways cross, but we don't have that right now. And so I've got to make some hard decisions here about where I want to go with this. I would say let's take that right there, and can I shoot that gap up the center to right there? I can. Okay, so we've got an opportunity here. What I need is for metals to come over here. Metals will make that right there, which gives us another platinum planet on that side. We'll send the water over to this side, and then I do have a plan, and that plan is called Research Facility. Oh, it's not going to work. I may have to take this planet right here to give us another Terran, and that gives us a gold on that side, which finishes off our other task. And then we can colonize 9 new planets. I think we can do that in 12 years, no problem. That should be pretty easy. Where is the spot they want me to explore? I'm not going in that direction, so I'm going to go with increase my robots by 6. Because I feel like that's a much, much better hedged bet for what we can accomplish here. From there, I do need this food to go out, because it may cascade this guy into being successful once I get that. What is that right there? Nothing. Nada. Okay. A big old thing called not a damn thing. What is that over there? Nothing that uses fungus. Well, that is just heartbreaking. I need to get this fungus somewhere. Even if it's just to a research facility, I need it. So my first suggestion is let's move one of their exports over to there, which did indeed upgrade. Well, I don't think it upgraded that guy, but it'll help. Did it upgrade that guy? I think it might have upgraded that guy. Yeah, our happiness is looking pretty good right now. Can they shoot that gap right there? One little trick that I'll show you for new players is you can colonize a planet to take a measurement and then just roll it back real fast if you're not sure that you can make it. There's another key you can hold down. Yeah, you can hold down the control key as well, but I like to do it manually. I'm kind of like a measure once, cut twice kind of guy, so I like to measure it I like to manually check it real fast. So they've got their food right there. They've got their import right there. I can shoot that gap right there. However, that does not give us any real spicy options for researching minerals, which is kind of what I was trying to do over here. I guess I could shoot that all the way out to there with a relay, and if I can get water to them, we could get you kind of like, so you can put one rock on a research facility, but there's diminishing returns on how much research you get planet by planet. And so you kind of want your first research to be a banger research so that you don't have to worry about the diminishing returns. And so I was trying to get rocks to these places to make it work, but what do I have down here for technology? So I've got gravitic mining, which gives us more money for asteroids. We're rich as hell, so that doesn't matter. We can get habitats on asteroids, which is really, really good for using up extra exports. We can get hybrid hatcheries on primordial planets, swamp and jungle planets. That kind of gives us a get-out-of-jail-free card for this over here to upgrade it. So I would be interested in exploiting that, I think. Let's do that. And so now we can get robots out of this planet. I don't know if long-term that's the plan to make, but it does allow us to get this export out of the door so that this guy will upgrade. However, I am going to have to use a relay for this, which kind of sucks. But we got it there. Oh, he did not upgrade. He needs another import. I can fix that. It's out of range. Damn it, it's so close, too. Ah! So close. So it's like right there. Oh, that's upsetting. Do we have a technology that increases the size of our slip gates? I don't think we do with the current alien races that we have. I think it's the Vatari. They have a technology that's like tier 2 that makes your slip gates like 30% or 50% longer. Ugh, that's upsetting. Well, since that didn't even upgrade, dude, let's just take it back. I take it all back. I'm saving my time. If that's not going to upgrade when I put that fungus on it to gold, then I don't really care about it. Not important for right now. But that flexibility of being able to reload and re-roll back anything that doesn't uncover data. So really, the only thing that stops you from undoing your last choice, you can undo everything in this game unless you scan. So that's one of these little probes. The second you do that, you're locked into your course of action permanently, and this will go gray on you. And then the other thing that does it is if you attach human beings to a forebearer ruin. And so just keep that in mind and don't ever lock yourself into a course of action if you don't have to. Let's connect this guy. We got 3 research from there, and it looks like it's an old repair depot that's full of broken down devices. Not much of research value, but we could repair them and sell them off. Okay. So we can spend research to get a bunch of money, but we're rich as hell, so I don't think it matters. We can scrap it for parts, which turns this into an export spot for ore and circuit boards. Or we can turn it into a museum, which teaches people about Forebearers' culture. That'll give us a happiness token. And I think if you put a happiness token on a planet that produces humans, you get something for that. I don't recall what. I'm going to do that, though, because it uses up our last human from that side. And so it's actually producing happiness from now on, so that'll help out a little bit. We got another Forebearer ruin right there that we could claim for ourselves. I can shoot the gap kind of over to there. What am I doing with these humans down here, dude? I always forget about my little projects that I'm working on in this game. If I can get food and rocks out to there, we may be able to do something. But my research is falling behind. I need this to be like +6 pretty soon. There's not many ways around that. I don't have robots on this side, though. So there is something I can do on this side. I can send humans over to here to get fungus. All of our humans now have funguses. We can put that right there so it becomes a platinum planet, which takes us up to 109% score. We can use biorefineries on that side to get robots right there. and put that right there. Then we can get the rocks that this place needs from right over here, which will fix that problem. Actually, we don't want the rocks from there for right now. We want to see if we can get the rocks from elsewhere. I don't appear to have any easily accessible rocks at the... There we go. There it is. I was going to say, dude, there's got to be one around here somewhere. I don't think these humans are going to... I mean, I guess I could put them on the Forebearer ruins. I was going to use them for research over here, though. Because we picked up that technology, we can kind of bail ourselves out of trouble down here by going, like, humans, go get fungus. And then over here, getting more robots. I don't know if robots are going to be hugely helpful at the moment. But there's not really much we can do with this place, so let's research robots over here. Alright, so we're getting one research out of the robots right there. It's not perfect, but it's something. I can send the robots over here to get food. And what was that quest right there? They wanted me to get... colonize 9 different planets. Okay. We've only got 8 years left to go, so it may be worth it to start looking into getting some food as well. I do like the idea of turning asteroids into habitats. That buys us a little bit of flexibility that we didn't previously have. Do I have any locations with food exports waiting? So over there, over here, that actually, it gets us out of this corner right here, which would be really nice. It also gets us access to those rocks right there. Is there any need that needs to be satisfied around here? So I think we go for a habitat right there. We export that so that that upgrades, which then cascades that to where we want it to be. We put a habitat right here. That habitat goes over to here, which gets them water. And there's something crafty I can do over here. I just know it. We're deadlocked a little bit. So what I was going to try to do is I was going to try to get them a little bit of something over here. Because if I could convert, so if I grab this right here, honestly what I needed, there's a technology for one of the races that makes it so you can get boxes off of these planets right here. And that would have solved it just fine. And these two would have been more prosperous and providing more humans that I can just throw at random things around here. So if I import humans to here, it can't shoot that gap, so it doesn't matter. I was going to try to get fungus from there over to there by giving them an extra import of humans, because that's what they want to upgrade. But I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're quite in that spot just yet. But I will put the food over to there so that they're exporting somewhere, and they go up to gold quality. I need longer slip gates so that I can grab that planet. And I just don't have it for right now. That planet's becoming kind of a thorn in my side at the moment. It's becoming one of those things that I'm spending entirely too much time staring at. And so I think this is a marvelously fantastic game. I don't think that this game gets the credit that it deserves for being kind of like the genius level planning game that it is. This is one of those games that, strangely enough, a lot of people don't know about it, and yet it's addictive in kind of like that time-passing, relaxing, same way that Minesweeper is, where you kind of just want to sit here and fiddle with it. And like the enormity of the Empire, like I didn't really play that well this game. I was kind of like doing dialogue while also playing. And so I missed a couple of things. Like I needed to get research up and running a lot sooner. But thus far, this game is not going badly. And the amount of platinum planets I have right now may lift me out of obscurity and save me. But we needed to get those 2 tasks done before the end of the game anyways, so that we have a nice clean score without like a minus 5% for each of our unfinished tasks. And I think I can probably do that in the next 7 years. 6 years, technically, since it's going to roll over after December. But this is Slipways. I think this game is utterly fantastic. I think it's one of those rare games that comes along that just makes you sit and stare at it and think about it. It gets the brain juices flowing. It's got like a nice meta planning layer to it where when you see certain loops, you'll be like, ooh, I can do something with this. And then you get like that satisfying like ting, 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 tactile feedback. And then the big thwump, like shiny sound that when something upgrades. Just one of those games that's not only hitting on dopamine centers, but it's hitting on, you just using your intelligence to solve little logic problems inside of here. You get buildings that you can build on these planets called orbital stations. Each planet can have an orbital station on it, and then like the appearance of the planet will change, and it'll change how the planet functions. There's terraforming. We didn't really go with those races this time around, and we didn't really get enough technology research for me to show you any of the other fun stuff that you get to play around with. But it is in here. Like, you can change around what types of planets you have with weather control and terraforming. Your strategy kind of adapts as you go through the game. And I think that makes it very, very fun, depending on the technologies that you get, which gives this game sort of this endless replayability to it that I think a lot of other games are really lacking. This game just keeps me coming back and back and back again, and it's been 2 or 3 years of playing the game. Every single time that I don't know what I want to play, I load this game up and I play a few rounds, and I think that there's something magic there. Not every game does that for me, and so I wanted to give it a video and just be like, hey, Slipways is pretty ridiculously solid. Like, it's one of those games that's an easy recommend from me without hesitation. If you enjoy like logistical planning and playing around with things and just dealing with the challenges of a procedural map, procedural technologies, and getting it all to flow so everything's running in parallel. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for stopping on in. That's about all I got for you here today, and I'm going to step on out. Bye, folks.